Hook and intro. Why do the worst people seem to win the most? In a world where hard work and good intentions are supposed to lead to success, why do the ones who lie, manipulate, and step on others often rise to the top? The paradox. From corrupt politicians to ruthless CEOs, history is full of examples where the morally questionable climb higher while the honest struggle. But why does this happen? What's the real reason the ruthless seem to have the upper hand in power, business, and even life itself? Why it matters. This isn't just a philosophical question, it's a reality many face today. We often hear that hard work and fairness will get you ahead, but in the real world it seems like the opposite is true. So why does it feel like the kind-hearted often get left behind, while those with less scruples take the lead? In this video, we'll dig into Nietzsche's theory of master morality versus slave morality and uncover how these concepts can explain why the worst people often seem to succeed. The ruthless rise to power. 1. The evidence of ruthless success. Take a moment and think about the people you've seen rise to the top, whether it's in business, politics, or even throughout history. Think of the ruthless CEO who crushes competitors to expand their empire, or the power-hungry politician who will do anything to secure their position, regardless of who gets hurt along the way. Even conquerors like Genghis Khan and Alexander the Great, driven not by kindness, but by the will to dominate. These individuals succeeded, often because they didn't hesitate or play fair. Now contrast that with the moral, hardworking people who seem to always be in the shadows. You know the ones who play by the rules, do the right thing, and yet find themselves stuck, overlooked, or even passed over. Despite their dedication, their efforts don't always seem to translate into success. Why does this happen? 2. The nature of power. Nietzsche believed that power isn't inherently good or evil. It's a force of nature, driven by survival. In his view, power is simply a part of human existence, like hunger or the need to breathe. It's about dominating and securing your place in the world. Power structures, whether in business, politics, or even societies, are built on dominance, not fairness. In this world, fairness isn't naturally woven into the fabric of power. Instead, power tends to favor those who can assert themselves without hesitation. Those who are willing to act decisively, even at the expense of others, often find themselves at the top. Success isn't about being good, it's about being able to take control and navigate the game with force and determination. Understanding master morality versus slave morality. 1. Master morality, strength, ambition, and power. Imagine someone who is bold, decisive, and doesn't hesitate to take what they want. This is the master in Nietzsche's philosophy. The master is self-defined, fearless, and acts according to their own rules, not seeking validation from anyone. They are driven by strength and ambition. In their world, power and dominance are the highest values. For them, what's good is what enhances their ability to assert their will on the world. They don't wait for opportunities, they create them. In a competitive world, this mindset is a game changer. The master doesn't sit around hoping things will work out. They seize control and push through obstacles, confident that their strength will overcome any challenge. These are the traits that help them rise to the top because they don't waste time doubting themselves or seeking fairness. They take charge no matter the cost. 2. Slave morality, kindness, humility, and suffering. On the flip side, we have the slave, according to Nietzsche. The slave is the individual who values kindness, humility, and self-sacrifice. They believe that fairness and justice will ultimately reward them. The slave mindset is one that is cautious and constantly seeks validation from others. They want to do the right thing, to be virtuous, to avoid conflict, and hope the world will be fair. The problem is, this mindset often leads to hesitation. The slave spends too much time questioning whether their actions are good or whether they are being too harsh. They wait for the right moment, looking for signs of fairness, which often never come. By the time they act, it's too late, and someone with a master mentality has already taken the lead. 3. How slave morality enables ruthlessness. Here's where it gets uncomfortable. By prioritizing kindness and humility, slave morality unintentionally hands the power to those who don't care about fairness at all. The more the virtuous hesitate, the more they make space for the ruthless to take over. Take a look at the world of business. Many leaders who gained massive influence weren't necessarily the most virtuous. They understood how to exploit opportunities, make ruthless decisions, and rise quickly. Take Steve Jobs, for example. His drive, ambition, and willingness to push boundaries, often without considering the feelings of others, are what helped him build Apple into one of the most powerful companies in the world. Others who may have had equally strong ideas but lacked that ruthless drive were left behind. So in the end, the very morality that seems like a safeguard against ruthlessness often ends up enabling it, by creating a world where the truly dominant can take control while those who hesitate are left to struggle. The psychology of the ruthless one, the evolution of ruthlessness. Let's take a step into human psychology. What makes someone ruthless? It's not just about being cruel, it's about certain traits that help people survive and thrive in competitive environments. Evolutionarily, traits like low empathy, high ambition, and a lack of fear can be huge advantages. Think about it. If you're someone who can make tough decisions without worrying about how they'll affect others, you're often in a better position to succeed. Those with low empathy can act without hesitation, while those who are highly ambitious are always looking for the next big move. A low sensitivity to fear allows them to take risks that others might avoid. These traits may not be found in everyone, but they're incredibly powerful when it comes to climbing the ladder of success. For instance, ruthless leaders can distance themselves from the emotional consequences of their actions, allowing them to act decisively in ways that others might find difficult or even impossible. This ability to cut off feelings when needed is a significant advantage in high-stakes environments. 2. The power of decisiveness. At the core of ruthless success is decisiveness. The ability to make quick decisions without fear of failure is often what separates the successful from the ones who get stuck. Hesitation is a luxury that the ruthless simply can't afford. If you're waiting for the perfect moment or second-guessing yourself, you're already losing ground. Take Elon Musk, for example. Whether it's SpaceX, Tesla, or even Twitter, Musk is known for making bold decisions without worrying too much about the potential risks. His ability to act quickly, even in the face of massive uncertainty, has been key to his rise. He doesn't wait for validation or approval. He just makes the call and moves forward. This decisiveness doesn't mean that every decision will be perfect, but the key is to keep moving forward, learning, and adjusting along the way. Leaders and entrepreneurs who rise to the top often share this trait. They don't waste time second-guessing. Instead, they embrace the uncertainty and keep pushing ahead, leaving the cautious behind. The paradox of power, ruthlessness versus sustainability. 1. Ruthlessness and its downfall. While ruthlessness can help you climb the ladder quickly, it's not a formula for long-term success. Tyrants throughout history have shown us how power gained through cruelty and manipulation can easily unravel. Think of leaders like Napoleon or Adolf Hitler, men who rose to the peak of power but fell hard because they lacked the wisdom to balance their strength with strategy. Their rule was built on fear, and while they dominated for a time, it was never sustainable. The truth is, tyranny without wisdom is a fragile foundation. It might give you the upper hand in the short term, but eventually the cracks will start to show. People grow tired of being oppressed, and systems based on fear and exploitation tend to collapse. Ruthlessness may open doors, but it also invites enemies and leads to an inevitable downfall when there's no deeper understanding or long-term vision to support that power. 2. The long-term success formula. So if ruthlessness isn't the answer to lasting success, what is? The real path to sustainable power is not through manipulation or domination, but through creating value, overcoming personal limitations, and balancing strength with wisdom. Nietzsche's concept of the Übermensch, or overman, speaks to this idea, an individual who transcends both weakness and cruelty. The Übermensch is someone who rises not by exploiting others, but by mastering themselves. They balance their drive for power with a sense of purpose, constantly improving and evolving. Instead of using others to build their empire, they create something new, something of value. In the end, true power isn't about ruling with an iron fist. It's about transcending the old rules, breaking past limitations, and constantly striving for greater achievements. It's this kind of power that has lasting impact because it's built on creation and self-overcoming, not just the destruction of others. How to compete without losing your soul. 1. Fairness isn't guaranteed. Stop expecting it. Let's face it, life isn't fair. The sooner we accept that, the better. We're taught from an early age that if we work hard and play by the rules, we'll get what we deserve. But the reality is far harsher. The world doesn't always reward fairness or virtue. Sometimes those who don't follow the rules seem to get ahead while the morally driven are left behind. The sooner you stop expecting fairness, the more prepared you'll be to face the challenges of life and business head on. But here's where it gets interesting. Just because fairness isn't guaranteed doesn't mean you have to become like those who manipulate and deceive to succeed. This is where strategic empathy comes into play. It's not about becoming ruthless, but about understanding how the ruthless think. Recognizing their strategies and tactics gives you an edge, but without losing your own moral compass. You can navigate this competitive world without letting the ruthlessness of others drag you into their game. 2. The third path. Strategic integrity. So what's the alternative? You don't have to abandon your integrity to succeed. The real power lies in combining your principles with strategic thinking. This is the third path. It's not about being passive and waiting for fairness, nor is it about becoming ruthless. It's about understanding how to use power as a tool, not a weapon. You can achieve success while staying true to your values, but it takes awareness and intention. Here are a few actionable steps you can take to balance power with virtue. Stay grounded in your values. Don't let competition or the pressure to succeed make you lose sight of who you are. Define success on your own terms. Understand the game. You can be virtuous and still understand the dynamics of power. Recognize the rules, but don't let them control you. Embrace calculated risk-taking. Success often requires bold moves. Trust your instincts and don't hesitate to take calculated risks, even if it means stepping outside your comfort zone. Maintain emotional intelligence. Empathy doesn't mean weakness. Use it strategically to navigate difficult situations and make the best decisions without losing your humanity. Conclusion 1. Challenge the viewer's assumptions. Let me ask you this. Can you rise to power in a world that rewards the ruthless without becoming one of them? It's a question worth reflecting on. Are you playing the game of power with authenticity, or are you just passively waiting for fairness to come to you? The truth is, the world doesn't work that way. It's time to consider whether your approach to success is really serving you, or if you've fallen into the trap of waiting for life to reward you simply because you're being good. 2. Empower the viewer. Now let's flip that script. Nietzsche believed that we don't have to follow the beaten path set by society. He introduced the idea of the Übermensch, the individual who transcends societal limitations and creates their own destiny. You too can rise above the noise and shape your future, not by playing by everyone else's rules, but by mastering power on your own terms. Embrace self-overcoming. Build something bigger than yourself. Don't wait for fairness to find you. Go out and create it. 3. Outro. If you found this perspective on power eye-opening, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. And if you're ready for more content on how to grow, think critically, and become the master of your own destiny, stay tuned. New videos are on the way to help you continue your journey towards understanding power and embracing personal growth.